Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you and tell you how to solve right triangles. This will be a trigonometry tutorial for math for beginners, so let's get right into the video. Now, you're going to have a right triangle, okay? Let's just imagine this is a right triangle. Your right triangle is going to have a right angle, okay? Just like that. Now, these can be any dimensions that you desire, and you can always solve for the third dimension, or you can have any two dimensions and solve for the third dimension, any of the dimensions, just to make it easy for you. What you're going to use is something called the Pythagorean Theorem. It's actually really easy to understand. It's very intimidating when you first look at it, but it's easy to understand. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared, okay? So I'll put a squared over here plus b squared equals c squared. Now I know it's intimidating because you have three exponents, you have three letters, three variable letters, but it's not that hard, okay? So essentially your a squared and your b squared are going to be the two sides of the right angle on the triangle. So let's imagine that this side is 5 units and this side is 6 units over here. So we have 5 and 6. So our a squared is going to be 5 and our b squared is going to be 6. And it doesn't really matter. You can be either or, right? But your a and your b are going to be these two numbers. So what we have here, let's input the numbers. Our a is going to be 5. So it's going to be 5 squared plus our b is 6. It's going to be 6 squared equals c squared. Now this is going to be your c line over here. So your c line is here. So when you add 5 squared and 6 squared together, it's going to give you this line over here squared. So let's just go and solve. It's not that hard, okay? 5 squared is going to be 5 times 5. 5 to the exponent 2 will make it easy. 5 squared or 5 to the exponent 2, because when you have the exponent 2, it's called squared. So 5 squared is going to be 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay, plus 6 squared is 6 times 6 is going to be 36 equals c squared, as we don't know what c squared is yet. Okay, let's add up 25 and 36 together. 25 plus 36 is going to give us 61 is equal to c squared. And if I want to find c, then I just need to get the square root of this. Because to find c, essentially, I need to get the square root of 61. So the square root of 61 will give us the square root of c squared, which is actually c. And the square root of 61 is roughly 7.8. It's not exactly 7.8, but it's roughly 7.8 is equal to c. So our C, our line C, is going to be about 7.8 units, just like that, okay? Not that hard. Now, I'm going to make it easier. That was probably the hardest one. I wanted to do the harder one first, and then we'll do the easier one just to show you essentially that it can be even easier. If you can understand the hardest one, the easiest one is going to be even easier, okay? So I just drew a line to separate it. For the easier one, we're going to do the same thing. Get a right angle on the triangle, okay? And for this one over here, we're going to have 6 and 8, and then this is going to be c, like I said before. So our equation, once again, is going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared, okay? And we're going to take that, we're going to move it over here, okay? And I'll explain how, if you have, let's say, a and c, how to get to b as well after. So essentially, our a squared is going to be, let's say, 6 squared, right? 6 squared, because 6 is our a. Our b squared is going to be 8 squared, so plus 8 squared equals c squared, okay? Now, 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is going to be 36. I actually just realized we did this in the other option over there at the top. Sorry, I have an itch on my calf that I have to scratch. It actually is itching me really badly. It's really itchy right now. There we go. I feel a lot better. So 6 squared is 6 times 6 is 36. Plus 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64, is equal to c squared, okay? Now, 36 plus 64 is going to give us a number of 100. So 100 is equal to c squared. And then if we take the square root of 100, it's going to give us the square root of c squared, which is going to be c, right? The square root of 100 is 10, because 10 times 10 equals 100. So it's 10 is equal to c. So our c side is equal to 10 over here. Very simple, okay? Now, let's say you have a and c, and you want to find b, right? You can take the same formula and reverse engineer it. You would have 6 squared and 10 squared, okay? And then you would have to isolate for b. So you would solve your 6 squared and your 10 squared, right? Your a and your c. You'd solve your 6 squared, which is 36, and your 10 squared, which would be 100. So you'd have 36 plus b squared, okay, equals 100, you would isolate for your b squared by bringing the 36 over to the other side, okay? And if you bring the 36 over to the other side using opposite operations, you would have 100 minus 36, and that would equal 64, which would give you your b squared. And then you take the square root of that, which would give you 8. So you can do the same thing, but reverse engineer the formula, and you can use it to find any side of a right angle triangle to solve for a right angle triangle or a right triangle. And that's basically, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.